oh, I want to read with this person. This guy is cute, and we want to study together. It's my study partner.
Guys, you were thinking
It's
in
guys.
school.
They used to think about boys.
I never forget when some of my classmates sent my juniors to go and read my diary. And then my classmates wanted to know what I was writing in my journal, and I sent my juniors to read my journal and diary, like we used to call it, and come and tell them. The messiest stuff used to happen in all girls' school.
Were they successfully reading it?
Of course. Like,
hope there was
my gist was like the tabloid of the. There was nothing incriminating there.
The way you're looking.
There was nothing incriminating.
We're starting in 3,
2, 1, action.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Welcome back to our summer vlog. This is not a podcast.
That's the title.
Wait, so this is not a podcast, it's not the name of our show. Because
No.
I think there are people who name their podcast, this is not a podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is not a podcast.
It's just us
actually,
informing
but
you that
yeah,
it's actually not a podcast.
We don't have a title.
Yeah.
And the title of our show is We Don't Have a Title.
Our
Did I not say
princess.
show? My name is Debby.
And she's Debby.
Welcome again.
Welcome back. And first of all, I want to extend a hearty, I don't know, let's say apology to content creators. I've really been belittling what you guys do. It is
Thank you.
Sleepy. We want to sleep. Then Google told us that today is going to be sunny.
But we're feeling rain.
Please, where is the sun?
We're feeling small rain.
Fell on our face now, and our hearts doing chicken. But we are determined that we shoot this video today, and we hope that you love it and you have a great time. So make sure you
subscribe and follow.
Yes.
Subscribe to Princess's YouTube channel, Princess Onka, and my social media pages, Instagram and TikTok at Depoppy. We're gonna link it in the description box, so please follow. I mean, from the previous videos that we've done, we've seen quite a couple of videos, followers and subscriptions. So thank you very much for that. We're really grateful. So please keep sharing, keep liking, keep following. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's get into our topic for today: single-sex schools versus mixed schools. Who can guess who went to which one? If you said
I went to a single-sex school.
Hey, it's a lie. If that is lie, no, that's lie.
Let me move. Let me
guess. Anybody that guessed that Debby went to single-sex school, you're wrong.
But wait, they don't need to write it on the face. I look like someone that went to single-sex school.
I don't think any of us look like we went to. Or why do people
look like when they go to single-sex school?
I don't know, but
yeah,
I went to an all-girls school and Debby went to a mixed school. So today we are coming for each other.
Yes.
We have questions for each other.
Yes.
And you have questions for us too.
Yes, and we also think that some actually mixed school, I think is good. And then also like to do a shout out as well to those who love our wigs. I would say we are pretty in the comments of our previous videos. Thank you.
Our sisters, our biggest fans.
Our fans, yeah.
Our sisters found our videos with love. We love you girls so much.
Thank you so much. Shout out to you.
We should shout them out.
Yeah.
If they want to include their Instagram handles, but our sisters are the best. And we want, you guys also to interact with us in the comment section, like, subscribe, and just like Debby said. Let's get into it. I think first question I want to do is like general question both of us will answer is why do parents choose either? Why do you think parents choose mixed schools, and why do you think parents choose like single-sex schools, like all girls or all boys?
Okay, so for mixed school, I think parents would rather choose mixed schools, especially maybe if you're born into a family where you're probably just one gender. The parents would want you to experience the other gender. I think that's maybe one of the reasons why parents might want to choose a mixed school. Really?
Yeah.
No, I think so. That's one of the things that I thought about. That since you don't have like another opposite sex to mix with, you'd get that experience outside in a mixed school. And then also, I feel like parents send their child to a single sex school because, again, because of the hidden fears that they have regarding, being exposed, distractions, and
Yeah.
just
I'm
being
supposed to
exposed.
answer for single sex. How do you know?
Sorry, that's the
Assumption
assumption that I
that you
have.
have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, but
That's very.
I think my parents sent us to mixed school again because it's close to the house.
So there's no girls' school in Ibadan close to your house.
Actually, I don't think there's any girls' school in Ibadan.
There is. Then you can't say there's no girls' school in Ibadan.
I don't know.
You Google it.
We'll find out.
If you know anyone, put it in the comment section.
Yeah.
For me, I think parents choose single sex schools to avoid distractions. Really, I think especially for secondary school, you're at an age where like a lot is happening. A lot is happening. Puberty is happening. A lot of learning and
Hmm.
exposure is happening, and parents just want their children to be focused, to not be distracted by the opposite gender. And I think that really what it is just not being distracted by the opposite gender. I
Mm.
think so, yeah. So is that good? Is that bad? We'll talk about it subsequently.
Yeah.
So let's take one from you, one from you, one from you, one from
All
you.
right. Since you went to a single sex school, what is it like being in a single sex school? I mean, I don't know what it's like. I just know that I was born into a family where we're all girls, so I don't know if it's the same thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But being in a single sex school where you have to see all people that you're seeing are just girls,
yeah,
and you can't make friends with the other gender.
yeah.
What was it like?
I mean, I can say what it is like, but my experience might just look like any other normal school. Wow, there are so many at least sunflies or whatever it is, and no sun. Eh?
Like
They're really coming for us. That's by the
next
way.
time I'm supposed to be.
No wahala. So we I really don't know what it's like comparatively. Like it looked like a normal experience for me. What's it like going to
Mm,
an all girls school? Normal, except for increased drama. Even though I think there's drama in like
I
mixed
agree.
schools too, but all girls.
But what's the drama usually centered around? I know mostly in mixed school, drama is usually
See,
centered around, oh my god, I like this boy and this boy doesn't like me
see,
back.
for girls, drama can arise on any matter.
Mm.
Drama on any blessed thing. There's always drama. Drama on friend groups. Drama on. I'll never forget when some of my classmates sent my juniors to go and read my diary. I used to journal a lot because I was very introverted. I don't know why I said was just now. Is that I'm not introverted again? What do you think?
Actually, no, so I think for Princess, your social battery is I'm like, yes, 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 let's do this. And then after 2 hours, the crowd is like, can we go home? I'm
So I
done.
do usually
So
charge
she do
myself up,
usually,
and
yes,
I do try my best, but
yes. So
sometimes it
like
becomes a lot.
before I came, she has been charging herself up. Debbie's coming, Debbie's coming. So she's ready for like the energy that I'm bringing. Do you understand? But once she's done,
And I'm almost there.
she's done.
I'm almost
Like,
there. So because of that, I was quite introverted. So I used
mhm,
to write a lot. That was my thing, everything. I didn't have someone to vocalize to, and that's another thing about being in a boarding house. Like, um, you, except you're someone who has a lot of people you talk to, it can get very lonely there. It can. So I used to
mm,
journal, and then my classmates wanted to know what I was writing in my journal, and I sent my juniors to read my journal and diary, like we used to call it, and come and tell them. The messiest stuff used to happen in all girls school.
were they successfully reading it?
Of course, like
Hope there was
my gist was
no.
like the tabloid of the.
Jeez.
There was nothing incriminating there.
Mm, 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 mm. The way
there,
you're looking.
there was nothing incriminating there, but it just goes to show like people need to keep themselves occupied. And for girls, there's a lot of tending to drama. There was also a lot of competition. But then again, I don't know. It might be the same in mixed school.
There's usually competition,
Air
yes.
competition was
Yeah.
crazy when we were in school. Like we used to have one 12 disciples of mathematics. Our math teacher used to compile every year. Nobody cares about anything at the end of term apart from who made that list, who was at the top of that list, who was number one, who was number two. So it was very competitive.
Wow.
Otherwise it was a great experience and great friendships were forged there. Some people I still
Mm.
talk to till this day, like just build like
In
sisterhood.
secondary school, I
Yeah.
don't think I still talk to
One
any
or
of my
two, not like a
secondary
lot,
school.
but we're still everybody's good
I mean,
is
we see all of
good.
ourselves on social media, like, oh, I know this person, I went to school with this person, but not
You
nah.
don't have group.
No.
So should I move to my own first question
Yeah.
for you?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Um let's talk about self-awareness. Do you think mixed school offers teenagers or young adults the opportunity to develop self-awareness, and how soon do you think people are able to develop self-awareness in
in
mixed
mixed
school?
school? I think development of self awareness is quite early on in a mixed school because first, as teenagers, when we're growing, I identify as a teenager by the way. So as teenagers, as we're growing,
If you say so, dear.
we what was I saying? Aish.
As we're growing,
Yeah,
self-awareness.
as we're growing, we have like we're developing different across different levels. We have different hormones, raging in our body, and we just the fact that we have like this opposite sex, there's this tendency for us to want to impress. So I think self-awareness kind of like develops from there. So because we know that we have like a front that we want to give out, even if that might not be the actual or genuine awareness of self.
Yeah.
So I feel like yes, it does develop early, which I think is good, but it might not be true.
Hmm.
So like I see this guy, I'm like, oh gosh, I like this person, and so I want to look neat, I want to look fine, I want to look fly. Whereas that might not be the actual or true picture of myself. Or I want to be nice to this person, and maybe I'm not even nice to start
So
with.
could we say maybe that's not awareness of self? That might just be awareness of others.
So yeah, we can term it that awareness of others. So I mean, over time, maybe because we there are times where you just like there are times when I would say self-awareness. We become so aware about a particular thing, and so we develop it to ourselves, and then becomes our personality.
True. And it takes some people a long time to shake it off and now really
Yes,
find
find
who
their
they
own
actually are.
themselves. Yes,
I'm not
so you
throwing
you like
shade,
take
but
some identity that is actually not your true identity, and so because if you're doing it over time, you believe that that is you,
hmm,
when the actual fact is not.
I'm not throwing shade, but I feel like I see some people who attended, because we had an all boys school like close to our school, and they were our brother school because we're all under the same Baptist canopy. So I feel like even years after university, I see some of them online and I'm like, they haven't really found themselves. They still have this
Hmm.
secondary school boy kind of,
Mentality.
mentality. So it's like, I don't think this person has really become aware of
Yes.
themselves.
Yes. So it's easy in mixed school to pick up on other people's identity and identify
Mm,
as our own self
mm,
identity. I, for example, it took a while for me to even understand that there are some things that I'm not comfortable with, but because I
mm,
feel like that's the norm, right? So it took a
mm,
while before I was able to shake it off, even up until the entire university was when I started my
mm,
master's. And I'm going to give an example, reading culture. There was a time that I thought this
mm,
is how best I read because this is
mm.
how I see other people read, and I think that is how it should be. And it's again still boys from, oh, I want to read with this person, this guy is cute, and we want to study together, it's
If
my study
guys,
partner.
if we're thinking in
It's
your
guys.
school,
They used to think about boys in mixed school.
not everybody.
Majority of everybody,
If you say so, dear.
actually. So it's kind of like just gives that visage. Did I say right?
Facade.
Facade.
It's Versace you want to say.
Damn it.
Go ahead.
So yeah, so it just gives you like that. I'm not going to say that word again, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So self-awareness, not the genuine one. I mean, it takes guts and maybe self-discipline to be able to
Yeah.
get yourself,
Yeah.
be aware of yourself in a mixed school.
That's interesting.
My personal thoughts. If you think otherwise,
That's interesting. Your question for me.
yes. I know you have very serious questions. My own questions are not like.
Go ahead.
So now, friendship and amongst single sex school, we went to an all girls school, and there are a lot of people that believe that female gossip a lot. Is that true? And do you think that is gossip? Because I mean, where they say there's more women, more gossip, and so things go bad or go wrong, and so friendships that are supposed to even last longer
Hmm.
now end up being um not lasting longer. And I know you mentioned something that there's still a couple of people who still remain friends till dates, and I'm actually quite surprised because I would believe that it's supposed to be more for the mixed school. than a single
Than for
sex
the
school. It's for girls especially. Maybe
yeah,
boys
yeah.
they form like this bro connection, but
Forever
for yeah, but for girls can be tricky.
can be tricky.
Yeah. So what do you think about friendship and gossips in single sex school?
You're talking about gossip. I just told you that they sent people to read my diary. Wait, first of all, not only am I in an all girls school, I'm in the boarding house. We talked about this in one of our previous videos, right? Boarding versus day.
Yes.
So not only am I in a single sex school, I'm in the boarding house. What are we going to be doing? We're going to be
Gossip.
talking. It might not necessarily be gossip, but there just always has to be something to talk about. And do you know what I found? Because we had girls who had brothers in the all boys school too. The same thing.
Gossip too.
The same thing.
Wow.
When it comes to talking about people, the same thing. But you know what I also like? When we talk about self-awareness in boarding house, you grow tough skin. You don't have any
Mm,
choice. You have to grow tough skin. There's no after school running home and running away from anything that you're confronting in class. If you have a bully, you have somebody that doesn't like you or somebody that you don't like, you are not running away after school to go to your house and you're going to face them in the hostel. So this
mm.
is the son that was predicted.
Sun.
It's not that you're
Now it's
coming
not
out.
brighten
You
on
now
my.
want
It's it wants to blind us.
to but oh Lord, we are grateful for the sun. Thank you, Lord, for the sun.
Thank
And we're
God.
grateful that it didn't rain eventually. And I said
Yeah.
it won't rain. Google said so.
Now the sun has heard and
And
calmed
it's
down.
coming down. Thank you, Lord. So yes, there is gossip, but I believe that there is gossip everywhere and there's drama
Everywhere.
everywhere. But just me going to an all girls school, I felt like it was a lot. It was quite a
So does
lot.
it have? Did it affect friendship amongst?
Definitely it did. It definitely did. But I think we all outgrew it really. Somebody
Mm,
offended you in secondary school. Like we're all children, we're all behaving childish. I don't think anybody will say today, oh, because of that thing you said, even though there are some things I still remember, like the experience I
guess what?
just shared now.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
still remember it, but I would never think of those people and have any kind of animosity towards them. Fine,
Mm,
we may not be super close, but we have all grown out of that.
mm.
We've all grown out of that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, my question
Your
for you.
question.
It's got me looking at you like, okay, let's talk about intergender relationships
That's one of
in
the question I have as well. Oh,
in mixed schools. How was it handled? What kind of relationship did you have with the and I can ask you that question now because you're a teacher. How appropriate do you think? Because that's one of the fears of parents. So if you're a parent and you're listening now, we are either about to dispel or confirm your fears.
mm.
That's one of the fear of parents. That's one of the reasons my dad puts me in an all-girls school. He told us that it's for us to pass in our academics, but he told his senior sister that so that boys will not disturb us. Daddy, she told us, so we know. Okay,
Daddy, I did not know beforehand. I'm just
so intergender relationships. Now that
getting
you're
that.
a teacher,
Yeah.
reflect on how it was when you were in a mixed school. Do you think that there were, boundaries? Do you think that the relationships were appropriate? Do you think they were inappropriate? Or do you think, they were not handled well?
I'm going to first start with relationship before we go to the inter. One thing I noticed is for the mixed school, girls always have
Mm.
each other's back and boys always have each other's back. So there's usually this
Forming camp.
girls versus boys
Mm.
competition. It happened often.
But you also have
But
sellouts.
but yeah. So when it now got to the point where girls started having boyfriends, then we that would not have boyfriend, we now started
Around what
becoming
class are we talking about?
it's like SS2, SS1. Yeah.
SS1?
And then the people now we're not dating the one in SS3. They are like the
Wow.
bosses, but I digress. So now in regards to now I'm going to go back to when I was in JSS class in regards to inter
Gender
gender
relationship.
relationship. Of course there were a lot of inter gender relationship. Wow,
What did
this
they look
sun.
like? Some kiss.
Oh,
This son did not kiss us. He's blowing us. He's slapping us. But that's okay.
that's okay.
Hmm.
Um so you were saying something.
I said, what were you? You said they were
Yeah,
intergender.
so
What
they
were
were
they like when?
gender relationship. Now maybe because first we need to remember that the generation then
Hmm.
and the generation now is different. Now of course all of these things have been in existence. It's just more prominent with the
Mm,
Gen Zs
mm,
than the millennials.
mm.
Now, as much as the millennials can
I'm
be,
a
oh,
Gen
we're
Z.
a
I don't know
lot of
what she's
things,
talking about.
they play. Now, as much as there were all of this, my boyfriend, my girlfriend were holding hands, were kissing and stuff, which was there,
Yeah.
it was not in everybody's faces.
Oh, I see. Yeah, definitely. No,
So
you
as
can't even try
we
it.
try to, people would, I've not say we, the people who did it then, I did not have boyfriend in secondary school. If you think I was your girlfriend in secondary school, come outside and tell me, because
If you
me, I
say so,
know.
dear.
So a lot of people tried to hide relationships because you don't want the teachers to know. The teachers
You
are the
can't
ones that
even
will first
try it.
to start to discipline you
You can't even try
before
it.
you now say your parents will now hear.
Can't even try it. Yeah.
Eh? Hear what? So I feel like for then and for the generation now will even tell you the relationships that they're having and the problems that they're having in relationships and whatnot. So
Hmm.
intergender relationship then it's hard to see
Hmm.
teenage pregnancies then. It's not like it didn't happen,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as rampant as this generation. So I feel like it's more allowed now.
Hmm.
So if parents do have fears regarding
I feel
sending
like an argument is
children,
about to break out in the comment section.
yeah, so I feel like if parents are actually quite afraid of sending their children to mixed schools now, I would say be afraid. But again, all of these things to start from home. How do you train your children?
Hmm.
How do they listen to you?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like whichever school you send your child to, a child that want to be spoiled will be spoiled.
Where there's a will,
Where
there's
there's a
always
will,
a
there's a
way.
way. So that's my own take on intergender relationship. But of course, yeah, it was
Interesting one.
there. It happened then. It's happening now. It's just that then we had the fear of God.
Ah,
I can't say for this
you
generation.
have the fear of God. I speak
Amen.
to you, James, in the name of
Amen.
Jesus. Next
Amen.
question for me.
You did not answer that question. You have to answer that
I
question as
also
well.
have to answer it.
Yeah.
What's the
Intergender.
intergender relationship? There is only one gender in the single sex. So I don't know what is an
But you
intergender
want to tell me
relationship.
that you could not try. You said
In
you
my
you mentioned something when there's a will.
it's true, but I want to say something also. Um a single sex school is an anomaly because the world is male and female. Do you understand? So when a child is growing up in an ecosystem that is unnatural, it actually is unnatural.
Hmm,
It's now starts to spark unnecessary curiosity
true.
because I now want to know what is it about this opposite gender that is so, you know, evilish. That did I say evilish? I want to say evil and devilish at the same time, and I made a new word.
Evilish.
So
And that's a very nice word.
that
Evilish.
is so bad. What is it about the gender that is so bad that my parents, want me to be locked away in this place and not have any interaction with them? It spikes curiosity, and children are like that. It's just like it's the knowledge of sin, really. You've dangled it in front of their faces, and you've made it so exclusive. That's the word I was looking for.
Hmm,
You've made it so exclusive. Now I want to know what it is about. Do you understand? And you can only hold a child for too long. Curiosity, always makes them, and unfortunately, sometimes curiosity pushes them to ask questions or seek answers from the wrong people. So when it
true.
comes to intergender relationships, we didn't really have a clue what they were. We didn't really have a clue. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
I attended a school where a school counselor would tell us that any, and some of my classmates will remember this assembly very well. Any hello, any hi, any hanky panky, and straight to pregnancy. Imagine in SS3, somebody is looking me in the face and telling me that incredulous statements like, you must really think that we are fools. And it's funnier when you don't even know that, even from as little as just 2, just 3, at least for the day students and even boarding house students will still go home. Some of them already having relationships outside school, already having. So if that's kind of thing you are saying in the assembly, you don't expect them to be able to handle
Mm-hmm.
intergender relationships sensibly. So I think that's one of the disadvantage of single sex schools. We were not equipped with proper knowledge on how to handle intergender
Relationship.
relationships.
I think all schools in general didn't really equip for
Maybe in
us
the time
then
when
in
we're
our own
growing up,
time.
yeah,
Yeah, unlike now
that's
that the
unfortunate.
information is everywhere, that even if you're not given the information, the children
Yeah,
will look for it. So hide it all you can as a parent, whatever. If
yeah,
they want to find it,
yeah.
they'll
And the
find it.
thing is, see, intergender relationships can be healthy and should be healthy. This is what you should teach the children, how to
Mhm.
have healthy intergender relationships, not demonize anything or make anything look bad, which
Yeah.
you're lying anyway, because there's nothing evil about, having a male friend or having a female friend.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment you start to paint it like that, that is the picture the children will have, that the only type of relationship I can have with anybody of the opposite gender is an evil or illicit relationship,
Relationship.
because
Yeah.
that's how you painted it. So I think
Yeah.
that's all I'll say about that.
That's true. So let's move on. Let's go into academic excellence. You mentioned something. You said one of the reasons that your parents sent you to um a mixed school,
A
a
single
single sex
sex school is
school
to
is
focus.
to focus to avoid distraction. So
Yeah.
what do you think the academic excellence is like in single sex school compared to mixed school? Because I feel like for mixed school, maybe because we had um like I said earlier, there's usually this solidarity between girls and boys, and there's usually this very hardcore competition. There was a guy I remember in my school, his name was Smart, and this boy was really smart.
Mm.
He was a science student all through. He
Mm-hmm.
was so good. So a lot of people want to be like, I can do better than this. I was one of them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So physics, chemistry, biology. So that's why when I knew that physics, I was not so good with physics. The
My
chemistry,
worst
I put
subject.
chemistry on my head like my life depended on it. So I'll be like, even if I do not collect any
I'll
award,
collect this
I'll collect this
chemistry.
chemistry. So I studied, even though I still
Yeah.
did well across board, apart from physics, which
Yeah.
I failed very well. I'm proud of
Very
it.
well.
I failed it. I Let's not go there. We're not talking about teachers.
Yeah.
So what do you think the academic excellence was like? Because I feel like because of the competition, it kind of made me, and I think a couple of other students as well in the class want to do better,
Mm.
want to do more.
There's
And like
competition in
you said
girls'
there's
school too.
competition as well.
Yeah.
But do you think that they, again, I don't know how teachers see, oh, we're teaching just females or we're teaching male and female. Do you think kind of like make teachers give extra or be extra hard on the students compared to how it would have been in a mixed school? Did that also improve academic or not?
When it comes
Academic
to academic
excellence.
performance, I really
Mm.
don't think gender has anything to do with it. Whether you're in a mixed school, whether you're, if it was one of our previous videos where we talked about day versus boarding, yes, now I can say there are
Mm.
factors. For boarding students, you have more, scheduled reading time,
Mhm.
supervised prep time and things like that. So I can say academics is better. But mixed school, single sex school, I don't see any difference. I feel like you perform how you perform. There is competition in both places
Mm.
actually. And I have a story I'm very, very proud of. When I was in Baptist Girls Academy, we were going to have our extension. Do you know what extension is?
Extra
The
classes.
period before your WAEC. There's a
Oh.
midterm
Oh.
before your WAEC where all the SS3 students have to stay in the boarding house. Did you
No.
ever do that?
Nope. We didn't
Okay.
have boarding house.
Oh, you didn't have boarding house, but you had to be coming for classes like
Well,
when
there were
when people were
lessons,
on
but it
break.
was optional.
Oh, I see. So all the SS3 students had to come to, the hostel for that half term break because it was just before WAEC and you do classes every day. So that's
Mm.
extension period. So we, girls' school and boys' school were having classes together. I think logistically it was more convenient for the school and the teachers. Baptist Academy and Baptist Girls Academy. And then their teacher, brought out one amazing equation from God knows where. But the man did not know about somebody called Mr. Babalola, who was our math teacher in the all girls school. That's the man that used to do 12 disciples and 12 disciples
Or
of
math.
mathematics.
Mm.
Mr. Babalola made everybody mad with mathematics. Like, if you come into his class, people are kneeling on the floor writing math. Some people are on the wall writing math. Some people are squatting on the chair writing
Writing
math.
math.
Our
Ah,
head
you
was
must love math.
math was flowing. No, we didn't just do math. We loved mathematics.
Wow.
It was flowing in
God
our
bless Mr.
veins.
Balola ways.
I'm telling you, God bless. Actually, shout out to Mr. Babs. We love you so much. It was very strict, but we
Mm.
loved mathematics. So in the boys' school, the teacher now wrote one very long equation like this and said that anyone who could finish it, I think he said in like 5 minutes or thereabouts, that there was going to be like a prize or something for the person. It was extension. So all SS3 boys, all SS3 girls were there. Click the time start. I think 45 seconds to a minute. I rose up my hand. The man said, "Do you have any question?" I said, "No, I'm done." The man said, it's not possible, you could not. Mr. Babalola said, she is done.
Ah,
As I stood
see
up,
the confidence.
my girl started to stand up. I'm done. I'm done. I said, that's what we are talking about.
The boys were still writing.
They were still right. What did they
Damn
know?
it.
I said, we were breathing mathematics. No shade though. Of course, they knew mathematics, so and they used to
I
go for
love
this
it.
cowbell.
Oh yeah, Cowboypedia.
Yes, and I
Mhm.
think Babs had like topped the charts for a number of years.
Oh yeah.
But my school was never really serious with any of those things. That's unfortunate. But that's just to show that academically, I don't think anyone really affects you. The teacher actually has more to do with how a
The
child performs
performance
academically
academically. True.
than mixed a single school.
I agree. I
I
agree.
just wanted
Yeah.
to put that great moment out and immortalize it on my YouTube. A story to be told
That's
for,
a that's
for
an amazing
decades.
story. That's an amazing story.
Thank you. Is
Shout
it
out
my
to
turn
Mr.
to
Babalola
shout out
again.
Mr.
Yeah.
Babalola and to my 12 disciples of mathematics, all of you who dwack, Vivian, they used to ginger me very well in mathematics.
Wow.
Bumi, Messi. Ah, I miss you people. Oh, my
Wow.
turn.
Yes, you go ask me question. I'm still thinking about the 12 disciples of maths. In case you're like, why is this anti
We
zoning
look
out?
forward to that list like the book of life at the end of term.
Wow.
All right. Now we want to talk about relationship with teachers and safeguarding. How good do you think it was in mixed schools? And I'm talking about relationships or relationship with teachers in terms of how appropriate
Mm.
was the relationship with teachers and how strong was safeguarding in your school as a mixed school.
Okay, first I'll start with safeguarding. I don't think safeguarding was as deep as it is now in education in our own time. So yeah, so again, I feel like because these teachers are adults and they know more than we do in the
Mm,
actual sense, they're very, especially for those who are not street smart, they feel like they
mm,
can, take advantage and just do whatever. But
mm,
I think one of the things that we had then that was
mm,
quite good for us was in my school it was like a general staff room,
mm-hmm,
so that's where all the teachers are, male and female, so
mm-hmm,
it's pretty much almost impossible to
mm,
do any anki panky right there in the
mm,
staff room
mm,
compared to schools who probably have teachers in one teacher in a class,
mm-hmm,
or who have like a class and then you're the teacher that is situated there and you
mm,
have your classroom and you have your students in the class, like primary schools. So for secondary school it's quite different, but it still doesn't mean that some teachers didn't try, you know. And then, of course, like I said, because with teenagers, right, and we're just growing, they're like hormones and a lot of things that we're curious about and we just want to know. And then, if you now happen to find yourself with an adult who's supposed to like put you in the right path and wants to take advantage, then that's where it's really bad. So, safeguarding wasn't as much or as prominent as it
yeah,
is now.
yeah,
And so, relationship with teachers might have happened,
yeah,
but we're not privy to,
yeah.
like, I personally had an experience. I'm not going to name the teacher or the subject, but I
Name and
had
shame. Please forgive me.
but,
Don't be
but I
afraid.
mean
It's your
it took a
manager.
while for me to understand what was happening at that time. In my own Jesus mind, it was just like this teacher wants me to do better at the subject, but it was grooming,
Mm,
the kind of
that's unfortunate.
conversations that we have. And
That's
I,
unfortunate.
because I grew up reading the books that I should not be reading.
All of you that were reading Harley
All
Quinn,
of us that were reading Ali Queen,
you are delivered.
all of us.
Eh?
You not read it?
No? Fam? No. I didn't read
Wow.
Harley
No,
Quinn.
I read Ali Queen.
Count me out.
I read Mills and Bones.
I did not.
I mean I knew, right, but I also a part of me still know that these are the things that you shouldn't do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So even though it was grooming, I still had it at the back of my mind that things like this can happen with an adult that is your teacher, who obviously I'm like way young. I
But
wasn't,
did you report him?
to my dad. It's
Oh,
just, so it was not like reporting. It was just more like conversation,
yeah.
just talking with my dad. So thank God for the kind of friend that I had who were able to like really quickly pick it, because I always want to talk about this teacher, and that was because I always
You didn't
talk.
know actually
I
what
did
was
not know,
happening. Yes.
right? So, but my parents, God bless them, or my parents of blessed memory, were able to really, pick up from like this thing that our daughter is saying. But my dad just noticed that I was always talking about this person, and then spoke with the school, spoke with the proprietor, whatever it is that they had the conversation about, I did not know.
Hmm.
But somehow the teacher was not in the school anymore. I was like, oh well, and
I
left.
like
So it
that.
was later that I found out that when we got older, I'm like, oh, it was actually grooming. when we started to come to the realization. So even in a mixed school, you would think that things like that should be of general knowledge, but in the
Yeah.
actual fact, it's not. I was more of a bookish person than a, even though I can read anything,
Hmm.
I would read book, but I was not street smart like that.
Yeah.
So teachers' relationship, student relationship, of course, there were teachers who had good intentions for you, were really good with you. My math teacher, I don't know, there's something about math teacher and chemistry teacher. I loved my math teacher and my chemistry teacher. I can't remember their name, but I remember the chemistry teacher. She was so pretty. She was the one that actually made me like nails. If you see this, actually, if you see her from afar, you see say, this girl cannot know anything.
So
Hair,
she's very
nails,
intelligent.
very intelligent. When she starts to teach about titration and whatnot, you're like,
Hey,
I just want to listen.
titration,
I just want to
memories.
hear what this lady has to
When last did
say.
I hear titration? Take it away from me, Lord.
So it was good. So my math teacher and my chemistry teacher, they were amazing, a male and a female. They were amazing people, lovely people. So it made me like develop a really good relationship with them. You could go ahead and talk to them. My physics teacher, on the other hand, I used to sleep in the class, maybe because I don't like the subject. So
I think it's a
it's
general thing there.
with physics. Ah,
Nobody that attended Baptist Girls Academy,
I
my
didn't
set,
like
the
physics.
set before me and the set after me, liked or passed physics.
I didn't like physics. So but like there were good relationships with teachers, the ones who want to see you do well. My math teacher, even though I was not an A student, I was like a BC student in math. My math teacher said you have to do for that math. I said, sir, is it like you like headache? So and I did math, I did further math. It was good. So yeah, teacher student relationship was good, but safeguarding was not as strong. I'm grateful for the kind of teaching and trainings that we do for teachers now. Shout out to Safe Teacher, amazing work they're
Talk
doing.
about it
I
later.
bro, but yeah, there are lots of trainings that are on now for teachers, for safeguarding, and also students are becoming more aware.
Aware, yeah.
So I think that's a good thing now. But
Yeah.
during our own time, I feel like there are lots of teachers who probably would have taken
Yeah.
advantage of a lot of students
Hmm.
that would probably not know, and that's like childhood trauma for them.
Wow. For
So
me, I would say that even though we didn't have a safeguarding structure, but I don't think you can ever underestimate the power of God's word. Even though I attended a
true.
Christian school, so even though we were hearing these words or these Bible teachings involuntarily. At that time, many of us didn't really care so much for it. I think we had moments of, interest. Sometime when I was in GS2, I joined the fellowship. We used to, evangelize and outreach and everything. But they were like on and off experiences for us in secondary school, like at least in junior secondary school. But just repeatedly hearing the word of God, even if you wanted to do anything inappropriate with a staff member, which, by the way, I have a question. You are a single sex school, maybe all boys, all
Mm.
girls. That means you created your school so that boys do not interact with girls. Why do you have female teachers? I don't know. Maybe you can answer for me. Or you're an
Actually,
all girls
yeah.
school. You created your school so that girls will not interact with boys. That was the purpose of you creating your school, I think. So why do you have male teachers? I'm just asking. I'm not saying that the teachers are doing anything wrong. I'm just asking a question. You made your school deliberately for girls to be separate from boys. Why do you have male teachers? Just know that in an all girls school, if you have 3 or 4 male teachers or 5 male teachers, those are the only male beings that some of these students will see. So definitely their interest will be piqued. Some of you say, why
Mm-hmm.
why do you like this teacher? To me, always going to the classroom, always talking to this teacher. They are teenagers. They don't
Mm.
have anybody else of the opposite gender to talk to than these teachers. And if these teachers are corrupt, your students are most likely in trouble. So
Yeah.
yeah, so your girls or your boys being okay will be dependent on the moral standing of those teachers.
True.
However, the word of God, just hearing it really got us through school, where even if you wanted to do something inappropriate, you already know that what I'm doing is bad because I'm hearing it every blessed day. Morning devotion, assembly, evening Bible
Mm.
study, night devotion. You are hearing it every
Every
day, so
day.
you already know. So for us, it was really just God, the inshallah that got us. That's the grace of
Thank
God
God.
that got us through. That's my last question. What do you have for me?
Oh, my last question. I'll put the two together. I think, yeah, I'll put it together. One, one of the question. Well, what was celebrating festivals like in mixed in single sex school? Why do I keep saying mixed school? In single sex school, like maybe birthdays of, again, you
We're
used to
not
have
allowed to celebrate
relationship.
our birthdays.
Wow. And then how about Valentine's Day? People used to sneak things because I remember then in our own time we used to buy white cake for their, this thing and
I can't believe it.
flowers.
It's like another world. I can't believe that. I see it in movies. Like you watch
It
all
happened.
these high school movies, and they're buying like flowers and this
And
for
cake
themselves.
and teddy bears.
It's like a movie. I can't believe that people were doing that
You
in
can't
secondary
relate.
school. I cannot relate. My sets, like the teachers and leaders of our school, thought that our sets was so bad for some reason. I really don't know why.
What this say is bad?
They said we had formed a cult, and so I think we were very progressive. So I think one time they set one fees morning lesson that we had to do before WAEC. So they said we'll pay for morning lesson. Meanwhile, we already have standard lesson fees that we pay with school fees. So I think we just came together and said we're not paying it.
You
So they
were
were like,
rebellious.
this will form Anuta. They said we are called all kind of things. They actually did a special assembly for us for deliverance. If you were there, you remember what I'm talking about. So they just thought our sets were very corrupt and things like that. So on Valentine's Day, one particular Valentine's Day that fell on a Saturday, they organized classes for us and asked us to come wearing our uniform, and these classes held till evening. Why?
Why?
Why? What did we do? Like, I don't
We, on the
understand
other
it.
hand, were receiving love shaped cake,
I can't
cupcakes.
relate, fam. I
Well, not
can't.
cupcakes, like all those cakes with
Even if someone
flowers.
has sent it to my school, I'll deny it. I'll say it's not for me. I don't know
You
the
cannot be
owner.
caught having that.
You'll be sure for you collect it. You will come out on assembly the next day, you come and explain. I really don't know how it was for day students, so to speak. But this particular one, Valentine's Day fell on a Saturday. They asked the students to come to school wearing school uniform.
That's
Everybody must,
sad.
and the classes held till evening.
Were you even focused in that class? Can you even be focused in that class?
What do we? We don't have any
You have
choice.
choice.
What
Aye,
do you
that's
want to do?
sad. That's
You'll be
very
there.
sad. So, last final questions. Do you ever wish you were in a mixed school? I don't think I do. I don't know. Maybe the only part is it would have been a nice experience maybe for like one term. But I
Which one
think
to be in
to
single
be in a
sex?
single sex school for
Oh
like
yeah,
one term. But
yeah.
I think I would always take a mixed sex school over a single sex school anytime. So was there any time you wish that I wish I was in a mixed school? If you were to go back in time, would you pick a single sex school over a mixed school? And as a parent, would you choose a mixed sex school or a single sex school for your child?
That question is very, very deep because I fall on two sides of the divide. For a parent, I don't think I'll put my child in a single sex school simply because it's not natural, and I want my children to be equipped with the knowledge of how to handle intergender relationships and handle
Mm,
themselves well so that when they come out of secondary school, they are not pushed into a weird, different world that they are not used to and they are not equipped to handle.
mm,
However, I would say that the world is moving so fast. Nowadays the world is moving so fast that I actually cherish the naivety I had throughout my secondary school. When I got into university and I saw some things that were happening all around me, for the life of me, I was like, I felt like I was a child that they threw into like an adult university, and I would see girls who were my age having liver
to
that
do the
I couldn't
unspeakable.
have in so many years. And I cherish that naivety.
Mm,
I cherish not being exposed to some certain things, which came as a combination of not just being in an all girls school, but also being in a boarding house. So I was very naive for a long time.
mm.
And by naive, I just mean some information that was not even on my radar. So I didn't even know that I didn't know those things. They just were not, never on my
Near.
radar.
Wow.
So when I first entered the university, something I used to hear a lot from guys who wanted to be friends with me was losing up. If I had $1 for every time I heard losing up, you are too rigid, you are too this thing. But I am grateful that I was
That you're
rigid.
rigid
I'm
and you're not losing
grateful
up.
that I was naive, and I'm grateful that just
Mm,
grateful for what that did to me.
mm,
However, I won't take away the fact that God also really preserved me from unnecessary curiosity, and
mm-hmm.
also getting the knowledge of God at a certain age, because I was a teenager when I
Got
got
saved.
saved. Yes.
Hallelujah.
So having the knowledge of God at that age also contributed to it, because when I was in secondary school, I had plans for university that when I get to university, everything they say I should not do, that's what I will go and do. But just before I entered the
I think
university,
we all had that plan.
Jesus caught me and said, "No, girl, you're not going
Mm.
to do that." So For me, I wouldn't change it actually. I would go back to an all girls school.
I'll pick my mixed school.
But for my children, no.
Definitely mixed
Because I
school.
have the information now, I can help and guide them, give them the right information on how to handle intergender relationships.
Yeah.
I won't create taboos for my children. I really
Mm.
won't. I won't create taboos for them. Yeah.
Yeah. I would pick mixed school. I'll probably let them try out boarding for a little while because I didn't have the experience and I'd love them to experience it
Yeah.
for them as well, especially now, to
Yeah.
develop all the self tolerance and stuff. But mixed school definitely.
That boarding experience is so elite,
Hmm.
and for a parent, you might not have to send your child to a boarding school if you're a very hands-on parent, but things like camp, very good
Yeah.
for children.
Very good. Yeah.
Going away with their friends, with their peers, in an environment where they have to fend for themselves, where they have to, just build some kind of resilience and skill. Very, very
I
lovely
agree.
experience. So if you are
I
the kind
agree.
of person who is always scared of sending your children on, church camps or things like that, you
Think
should
about it.
consider it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think about it.
We've
So I
come
think
to
that's
the
that.
end of the video. Thank you so much for riding with us today. We're very grateful. Remember to like, comment,
And subscribe.
subscribe,
Follow.
follow.
Like, comment, subscribe, follow.
Until next time, this is not a podcast. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.